How cool has it been to be here in Calgary?
No, it's awesome. When we were on the way here, all I heard was that it's the Texas of Canada. So, I was super excited to see more of Canada.
Darko said you guys are going to Banff later this weekend. Have you heard about that? Are you excited for that?
Banff? Yeah, David Roddy made me look it up on TikTok. He said it's like one of the most beautiful, natural wonders of the world. So I'm really excited about that.
Nothing like that in Texas. I don't think.
There's bears? Yeah, I'm not really. I'm going with David Roddy. Y'all see, he looked like a bear. We'll be all right.
Jamal, a lot's been made about your leadership on this team, especially being a young player, organizing the guys in the summer and stuff. I was just wondering, how, I guess it comes naturally to you, but how hard is it to do when you're, just going into your second year? Some guys might feel more, bashful or shy about it, but you don't. So where's that come from, and how comfortable are you in that role already?
I'm friends with all of these guys off the court. So, that goes into a big part of it. And, they respect me, I respect them. And honestly, it's just information. I'm a point guard. I give out information. They take it, they receive it, and then we move on from there. I don't think it's more of them just following me. I'm just the best leader ever. I think it's just more of a respect thing.
I saw you working out with Alex Caruso this summer. He obviously just won a championship. I know you mentioned that was something you were trying to do going into this year, too.
Mm-hmm.
What did you pick up? What did you learn from working out with him?
Just pacing myself during the game. I'm very fast. He told me about, just changing pace and whatnot. And then on the defense end, just how he gets steals, and we watched a lot of film together. He did just come off a championship, so we didn't work out too much together, but we watched a lot of film. We had a lot of good talks.
I saw you got a lot of illegal screen calls. You found a way to do that. Was that one of those wrinkles?
That I got from Davion Mitchell.
Okay.
Yeah, Davion, he kind of set the standard last year before he got traded, and he helped me a lot, especially in training camp last year where we just got to talk and he pointed out a bunch of stuff. So I got that from Dave.
You just mentioned pace, but is there something that you went into this summer thinking I'm going to work on this? This is the one aspect that I want to bring into year two.
Just my conditioning. How we're about to play, how we are playing right now, and me being a focal head at that point, especially on the defensive side. Just having the energy and the air in my lungs to do all the things that we're trying to do.
How difficult is that going to be to play with the kind of pace that Coach wants? Intensity, and then be able to sustain that?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be too hard, especially we're going harder than probably I'll get to go as hard in the game right now because, we're playing 5-on-5 continuous. I'll get a break in the game. Me and Quick will be able to take turns in the game. It'll be a lot easier in the games. But I think doing this right now and, going as hard as we're going right now is preparing us for the game.
RJ was talking. When it comes to building that chemistry, like you said, you're friends with all the players off the court. How important are these training camps away from Toronto and building that and that chemistry?
Super important. I think we've been building that the whole summer, and I think all of these trips that we had when we went to Austin, when we went to Spain, when we went to LA, Newport, all of that goes into part that we enjoy being around each other, and it's not a force. So I think that us being all friends, it makes us so much better on the court.
There was a lot of talk yesterday about chips on shoulders, and then Brandon said if you try to prove something to others, it usually doesn't go so well. How do you balance finding motivation from the outside but sort of channeling it correctly?
Obviously, outside motivation will always be there, but we got to look in between ourselves. Brandon hasn't played in almost a year. That's motivation in itself for him. We didn't make the playoffs last year. Just taking little things and then trying to push each other's agendas so that we all get better.
RJ was talking about how it's going to be a big bounce back here for IQ. He's pretty excited. You didn't even want to tell us what we're about to see from IQ. What have you seen from IQ? Because I'm assuming you probably guarded him the most.
I think everybody notices that IQ's in the best shape here out of everybody. His body looks well. He looks like he's just ready to go, and I think he's itching to go. And, he averaged, 17 and almost 9 last year, 17 and 10 last year, something like that.
Yeah.
And that was in minimized minutes. And he was having to play with half of his team the entire time that he was playing. So I think just getting to see the best version of him with the best version of our starting five is going to be really fun.
Why is he in better shape than you?
Hey, I don't know. That's a great question. I think he's just built that way. I got a little bit more meat on my bones, but I think the way he prepares himself, I'm about to take a page out of his book and see if I can match that.
There's been a lot of talk about the first unit playing a lot together, second unit playing a lot together. How those battles been going? Who's been winning those?
Honestly, they've been kicking our ass.
Yeah.
We still give them a fight, but they're a good group, and the more that we get give them a fight as the second unit, I think that we're only going to push them. But they're a really good 5, and I think I'm super excited to see them start games and us try to come in and match that intensity.